Hi guys, welcome to week 4 of Public Relations Principles. It's Dr. Jessica Freeman. I hope you're having a great week. As you can probably tell, I am doing this last video of the semester from home today. Like many of you, I am working from home, enjoying my summer, doing a lot of traveling and things like that. And so Norton has decided to join me for the video. We thought we would make this last video a little bit more casual. As I mentioned, it's the last full week of the semester. The semester for us technically does end the 4-week at the kind of middle of next week with turning in of your final media kit, which I'll talk about here in a second, but the semester technically ends on Friday, June 30th for you guys for the 4-week course. I wanted to start with a couple of housekeeping matters. First of all, I wanted to let you guys know that because of a few just technological snafus, I have extended quiz 3, that was this last week's quiz, the deadline until Friday, June 23rd, that's this coming Friday, tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. And so you guys have until then. There are a few of you who have not done it, so this is my gift to you to complete that particular quiz. Quiz 4 is also up and it will be due on June 28th. That is at the end of next week almost. And case study 4 is also due tomorrow, actually, Friday, June 23rd. So make sure that you've done that. A couple of other things I wanted to go over. You guys have your press kit, or also called your media kit, that is due on Friday, June 30th, as I mentioned. And that is kind of the culmination of what you guys have learned this semester. It's the project component of the class. And as I talked about in the last video and posting, you guys do have partners that you're supposed to be working with in assembling this media kit. I wanted to just go over a few points. First of all, as I talked about in the last video, please let me know as soon as possible if you are not able to get in touch with your partner. If you email me at the end of next week and say, oh my goodness, I haven't been able to touch base with this person, what do I do? It's really too late for me to do anything at that point. That tells me that you kind of started this at last minute. But if there is an ongoing issue where you can't get in touch, and I know that sooner than later, I can help you out. So make sure you're getting in touch with me about that as soon as possible. I am a little bit worried because no one's really reached out about this. I have had one group though that has turned in their media kit already. It's already up there. Remember that you're supposed to upload everything in separate PDF format documents to the group Dropbox. Only need to upload it once for both partners because it does auto-populate to your group. So make sure that everything is uploaded that way. Kudos to the group that's already got it done. Along with that, one last housekeeping matter about the press kits, a couple of just things that I wanted you guys to know about the press kits, just some helpful hints in getting this done. Number one, you guys have to do a press release for this product that you have chosen. And what I want to kind of impart upon you a couple things. Make sure that in the lead, the first paragraph, right, of that press release, that the news is up at the top. Think that the first 3 letters of news are new. This is a new product, so that should probably a hint emphasized in the first paragraph of your press release. This is a new product, and you probably should be emphasizing the novelty of this product and what it can do for an audience in that first paragraph. Be sure to include all elements of a press release that are talked about in the examples and in the PowerPoint that I gave you about media writing. That includes things like the dateline, your contact info with a header, the boilerplate, all of those other formatting things that a press release uniquely would have. Formatting does matter. I want this to look all like branded material. It's not a design class, but there's a lot that you can do to make this look branded and formal and nice and easily digestible to the eye, even in Microsoft Word. So make sure that you are formatting this to look nice and to look branded for your product and company. Pictures can be incorporated throughout if you like. You should have at least one picture somewhere, but I do in fact like to have a lot of visuals whenever possible. They are part of making that content look branded. They of course don't have to be your pictures in this case. I don't expect you to go out and buy the product, but you can pull things like that offline just for the purposes of the course assignment. For the Q&A portion of this, think about what the customer would need to know about this product, right? Things that they would have questions about. The Q&A in this particular instance is all about putting yourself in the shoes of the consumer. Let me give you an example. A couple of semesters ago, a group did a product. It was an alarm clock that literally moves and jumps off of your nightstand if you push the snooze button, right? So it jumps around. You have to go chase it. The idea is that you're going to get up while you're chasing it and wake up, right? And if I were buying that alarm clock, I'd have a ton of questions about how it works, so on and so forth, that you could put in the Q&A. One question that I would have, for example, is how do I know that this product is not going to break itself if it's jumping around or break something else? Does it have some sort of sensor on it to sense when it's, near something that it could break? All of those are kinds of things that I would put in a Q&A. Put yourself in the shoes of the consumer for this particular assignment. The other component that I want to talk about is the fact sheet. And the idea behind the fact sheet for the purposes of this assignment is that you're providing information about your product, just basic background information. It may overlap a little with the Q&A, but not a lot. It should include information about the company, if they have other products, if they have offer other services or other products that go along with this product. Maybe some information about who started the company, the CEO, basics about the product itself. All of that kind of stuff should be in the fact sheet, and it's up to you specifically what goes in each of these elements, but you want to pick a product, of course, that's going to be conducive to having enough information that you can effectively answer these questions. Don't pick something that is going to be hard to find information. Also, another thing, and I will be looking for this, don't just simply copy the Q&A off of the product website or the fact sheet. You need to come up with this stuff yourself. Okay, so finally today I want to wrap up by talking about the case study 3, which was, I gave you a couple of examples of posts by different police departments. One of them, a post that came out this year from the South Dakota State University Police Department, where they posted about a note that was on a student's car that the student left about being broken down. And then I contrasted that with a post that was made by the Fort Worth Police Department, actually where I'm from, Fort Worth, Texas, in regards to an incident that a police officer supposedly had at a Wendy's restaurant. So I wanted to point out a couple things about this. Most of you said that the South Dakota State Police Department post seemed to really work. It made the police department more approachable, human. Some of you used the words softer, lighthearted, not so heartless. And a lot of you pointed out that all of this kind of came in light of the recent tensions with different police departments in the U.S. I think one of the most important things to keep in mind here is that these kinds of posts that really lend themselves to positivity are unique and important opportunities for police departments in light of the current climate. We have to, as public relations practitioners, keep in mind the context and the current climate surrounding our entity that we're representing. And so I think personally, that the SDSU Police Department took a really good opportunity to capture the good things that the police officers have done or are doing, and to work on some of that reputation management for the department, not just respond to crisis, but to build relationships with the community using this kind of post. I also want to keep in mind that, I think you have to, when, especially using social media, but any kind of interaction, think about the prospective target audiences and the potential reactions that might come from that audience. One person in our class noted, I think really eloquently, that you really couldn't do the same thing that SDSU PD did if you were the New York City Police Department. Context really matters. If I were the NYPD, I probably would have a problem if I posted this. Tons of people would see it, and then we probably would have an issue with people trying the same thing, leaving notes on their cars, and it could lead to a little more issue. So there has to be taking into account of the context of your audience. All audiences are going to be different. All communities are going to be different. So know your target audience and also anticipate possible outcomes of that messaging. A lot of you, just kind of concluding with this, didn't really agree with the choice of the Fort Worth Police Department in tweeting about Wendy's. I tend to agree with that as well. Some of you, though, did, interestingly enough, really note that Wendy's brand is known for being kind of witty and funny with their interactions, especially on social media. So it's important to keep in mind, yes, that I think that Wendy's does have that kind of brand, and perhaps they can be a little playful with stuff from time to time, but it is all about context. And personally, and this is just me, this is why it's a case study, I don't think it's probably the wisest thing for a public entity to be making posts about a corporation, kind of calling them out on things that can get really tricky. So something to keep in mind. All right, well, that's what I've got for you this week. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my evening here with Norton. I hope you're all having a wonderful week. Please do reach out sooner than later if you have questions regarding your final assignment, about your partner, so on and so forth. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that everyone's good, everyone's taken care of. Hopefully you have all of the examples and things that you need as you're doing this. Please let me know if you don't. Otherwise, have a wonderful week. Thanks.